Hiya. All right, let's talk about next week. So, thank you guys for doing such great work. You've been keeping on top of the assignments. I've been getting really solid answers. Thank you. I did notice with the chapter 9 question, there was one that I asked you to tell me about crossing over independent assortment and fertilization and how they lead to genetic diversity. Go look at the correct answer for that one and then see if you can answer it with all 3 parts individually and then tied together. If you just say they create genetic recombination, that's not answering the question fully. I want to know how they create recombination. Specifically, how does crossing over do it? How does independent assortment do it? How does fertilization do it? And how are all 3 tied together? I'm really looking for kind of a definition of each and then a how we get it randomized, okay? So far so good though. I haven't seen anything that makes me question how we're doing with mitosis and meiosis. Make sure that you are looking over those cell pictures, and if you can identify the stage they're in and then tell me if it's mitosis or meiosis. Go look at some that are drawn too, or draw them yourselves and see if you can figure that out. You guys are doing great. Your respiration lab workbook, hopefully that went well. I like that one a lot. I think it's fun to do the fermentation, and it's fun to see the beans doing cellular respiration, even if you can't physically watch it happen. And then next week, we are going to continue on with Unit 3 with genetics. Genetics is a lot of the vocab. If you haven't been working on your vocab, absolutely go do that. Okay, you do not want to come in to that exam and being like, I don't recognize any of these words. There is a big portion of this that is vocabulary based. The chapter 10 I do in 2 parts because genetics can be a little bit much. We do Punnett squares, and we do some pedigrees and some things like that, so make sure you know how to do those as well. There are some good study tools posted if you are struggling, or if you have questions, let me know as soon as possible. There are 2 attendance quizzes then and 2 lecture videos. So you'll do part 1 and part 2. And then next week you have an energy and photosynthesis lab workbook. This one takes a little bit of time again. I think there's a little bit of prep work, but if you let it sit for a couple hours when you're doing the photosynthesis part, and you don't get results, don't stress it, okay? Instead, I'd like you to write me a quick little blurb about why you think it didn't work, what factors might have influenced that. It's been really hit and miss on this one for students and for myself. I think I've had it work about 50% of the time. So I'm not stressed if it doesn't work, but I want you guys to think about why that might be, okay? Speaking of labs though, you do have a lab midterm that is coming up in 2 weeks. I'll have it open on the 27th and closed on the 29th at midnight. So it'll be open for 2 full days. That lab midterm covers your labs through energy and photosynthesis. So I will be going through those labs, pulling questions, editing them a little bit, and you'll see 2 to 3 questions from each lab on your lab midterm. That is 5% of your total grade, and you will need to take that. You gotta take it, okay? And then there's the Unit 3 exam coming up on the 26th. That is a Monday, and normally I do the review on Tuesdays because your exams are on Wednesdays, but with this unit, we kind of shifted a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a review from 5 to 6 p.m. on Sunday night, and I will get that posted just like I would normally. It's going to be a little later in the day because it's going to be a weekend, okay? I'm going to do it from home. You'll probably see my cats just coming in to say hello. They like to do that. As always, if you have questions or things you specifically want me to go through in that review session, let me know. If you can join me, even better, because if there are things that you are reviewing and you are losing yourselves or you're getting stuck, that's great. I also do better when I can kind of bounce off ideas from you guys and see what you're understanding. I wish I could see you in person and look for that confusion. Unfortunately, I can't do that all the time, but reviews are a time for me to be able to really communicate with you about that confusion. Much better job on the second unit exam. Keep up that hard work. Don't forget the unit homework is due the last day before the exam, which will be Wednesday the 21st. Any homework not turned in by that time will be a 0 for Unit 3. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I appreciate you guys. Have a good day.